So one of the things I hear a lot of you guys struggling with is like the sales side of things. You're a good tradesman, you've been doing this a long time, like you're good at the technical aspects, and you're getting some kind of leads. Like there's some kind of people that are interested in working with you, but you're just not sure about the sales part. And the thing is like it isn't an easy thing, and there's no like perfect system or way that someone can tell you how to do it that's going to like fix all of your problems. Like the first thing I've learned about sales over the last 6 years of doing it a lot is that it's a process, and that you shouldn't aim to like fix it like you would fix a door or fix a leaky pipe. Like that's not how it works. It's a process of getting better, and so instead you should look to just improve the process every time you go through it. Every time you talk to a new person, you give another estimate, someone says no, someone says yes, you should take a minute and think about the process you just went through and write down like, why did it go the way that it went? Why did they buy from me? And you can ask people that stuff. You can say, hey, why'd you guys decide to go with us? Or why did you guys decide to go with someone else? And get as much feedback as you can, and just keep improving your process. I think that's the most important thing. Like if you don't ever learn or do anything else, like if you do enough sales, you're improving your process, eventually you'll be really good at it and you'll be an expert. There are ways of speeding up that process. I know Tom Reber has something called like Shinfu or something like that. And it sounds like it's really heavy on the qualification process and trying not to waste a lot of time doing estimates for free. So that sounds really valuable. It sounds like a good place to start. You know, speaking of starting, like I first started doing sales when I was basically like a superintendent for a remodeling company in Portland. And once upon a time, this huge project we were working on, it stopped all of a sudden. And all of a sudden we didn't have any work. And so at that time I taught myself how to generate leads with Google Ads and do some form of marketing. And once I started generating leads, I had to go talk to people. And like the first appointment I had, I just showed up and didn't really know what to do. And it didn't go very well. I didn't end up getting that job, and it was very painful. But when I got back in the van to drive away and reflected on why it went so bad, I just decided to do a couple things different next time. One thing I did is I went and created like a sales binder for me to take the next time. So, you know, I didn't have like an iPad or anything. So I made a binder. I printed out a bunch of pictures of our work. I printed out some of our testimonials. I printed out a couple examples of what our estimates look like. Probably some other things that I'm forgetting, but I just packed everything in there that I could think of that would help me demonstrate to these people who we were and why we could help them. And another thing I did is I created a checklist for myself of like the things that I needed to either measure or bring up to them, you know, because I knew once I got into that situation, I was going to be nervous and I would forget half the things I was supposed to do, and it was just going to be a shit show like it was last time. And so I back then I probably did like a couple dozen of these appointments before we actually got a job and I was back, you know, demolishing this house by myself. But you know, that's where I started, and it's been a never-ending process of learning from what I'm doing and getting better. And that's what you got to do with sales. There's no silver bullet. I'll probably do another video about qualifying, and I've done one of those before. And I talk to guys who are taking all sorts of courses, the Shinfu one being one of them. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. I guess like the main thing I want to impart on you is to not look at sales or business in general like something that someone else can just teach you once and then you're good forever. Like you have to keep learning and improving. You have to figure out your own systems, what works for you. you got to think about your customers and like put yourself in their shoes and understand their mindset, what they care about, what's important to them, and that's going to help you sell to them. And the cool thing is you can ask them about all of this stuff. You can ask people anything you want. Like, don't be shy about it. Like, you can ask people, what do you care about most about this remodel? What is this going to mean for you? What will it mean when you have this addition is done? How is that going to change your life? You know, what's the most important thing to you? Is it the budget? Is it the quality? Like make a list of questions and ask them everything. Don't be afraid to ask anything. And just getting into the habit of operating that way, you probably won't struggle too much. And honestly, the hardest thing that I ever struggle with is a lack of clarity about why things happened the way that they did. And that's super common with sales. When you give someone an estimate and you call them a few times and you never talk to them again, you have no idea what happened. You don't know if you did something wrong. You don't know if they died. You don't know if they hired somebody else. Like, you have no idea. So try to eliminate that as much as possible. And the best way to do that is to ask all those questions up front and try to establish a relationship with this person or these people where they feel comfortable enough with you to be honest with you and give you some kind of resolution. So I've put together a sales checklist of questions, of things you might go through, and I'll put it in my Facebook group for free. Just join the group. It's free to join. Get the checklist, and everyone in that group will be able to help me make that checklist better, and we'll just have it pinned up at the top for everyone to grab whenever they need it.